I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw, he came to my ears and whispered, "Please be easy on me." He thought I'm Mike Tyson and I will follow his script 40 seconds after I broke the clown's jaw. We are boxers, not content creators.
Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do. It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking...
The story was already blown wide open before the final bell even finished echoing. Jake Paul is no longer just dealing with a knockout loss. He is now facing the possibility of a Netflix lawsuit that could tear apart his entire boxing business. And no, this does not feel unreal anymore. So let's rewind for a moment. Just minutes before lawyers entered the picture, this fight was being sold as the most important credibility test of Jake's career. Instead, that same night ended up exposing shaky contracts, bruised egos, and a business setup driven more by hype than real control.
I heard that Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with and Netflix was just waiting for a reason.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the...
The idea of Jake Paul being sued by Netflix is not some random side story. It looks like the result of a billion-dollar platform realizing it took a risk on unpredictability and ended up with pure chaos. You could feel that shift the moment the Anthony Joshua fight ended. This was not influencer boxing anymore. This was presented as serious heavyweight business, complete with judges, doctors, executives, and a worldwide audience. And when a massive company feels embarrassed at that level, it does not fire off tweets. It goes straight to the courtroom.
Anthony Joshua didn't throw a single straight right hand for 6 rounds.
Think about how quickly everything flipped. 1 minute, Jake walked in with fearless confidence, turned up to 11. The next minute, executives were reportedly asking why the product they paid for spiraled into hospital footage and canceled fights. And here's the part that should make people uncomfortable. There are quiet talks suggesting that what Netflix expected and what actually happened were not the same thing at all. Somewhere, someone knows more than they are admitting right now.
And not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow. I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Did he surprise you with his power?
To be honest, no. But, I mean, he surprised my jaw.
Anthony Joshua did more than just defeat Jake Paul. He removed every layer of protection. And once those safety rails were gone, every promise made beforehand was suddenly rechecked under a microscope. Joshua was not a retired legend or a gimmick opponent. He was a fully active, fully dangerous heavyweight. And the moment Jake started moving defensively instead of taking control, you could see the tension setting in. It was slow, subtle, and there was no way back from it.
Looks like Jake Paul's trying to bait him into something, but he's the one that's hit the canvas twice in this round. Incredible.
This is where the experience gap became painfully obvious for everyone watching. Joshua never even needed to push past second gear. That is what made it frightening. The danger was measured and deliberate, not accidental. When a champion chooses patience instead of flash, it usually means he already knows how the story ends. He is just choosing the moment to show it. That moment arrived in round 5, and it ended things decisively.
I love this shit, and I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Are you surprised you went 6 rounds with the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I just got tired, to be honest. Like, it was just so much.
The 2 knockdowns did not just put Jake on the canvas. They shattered the illusion around him. Those punches were not lucky shots. They came from exhaustion, fear, and damage building up over time. Anyone saying otherwise is ignoring reality. By round 6, this was no longer about heart or bravery. It was about biology. And the body never lies, even when branding tries to.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
I saw you talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was trying to get his head. I think I pissed him off. What were you doing? I was just saying fuck.
The broken jaw changed everything. You cannot joke away titanium plates, and you cannot edit bone damage into a win. Watching Jake attempt to turn hospital footage into content was the moment many people turned against him. Real confidence looks different when it is earned compared to when it is borrowed. And suddenly, It felt borrowed from a system that had finally decided to stop protecting him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy. Yeah, oh, he's fucked his jaw. Yeah? You don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast. Yeah. We'll see him back again for sure. Yeah.
Here is the ticking bomb no one wants to deal with yet. Netflix did not just lose one fight night. They reportedly lost an entire future plan. The canceled Gervonta Davis bout was not just talk. It involved infrastructure, marketing, sponsors, and projections that were already in motion. When something like that gets pulled without agreement, platforms do not call it personal choice. They call it breach of contract.
Now, you asked me a question. Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request.
A $100 million lawsuit does not come from confusion. It comes from anger. And the word willful keeps appearing in reports for a reason. Anyone who understands contracts should be paying attention, because willful implies knowing the consequences and moving forward anyway. If that claim holds up, it does not just hurt Jake. It damages his trust level with every serious promoter quietly watching from the sidelines.
Thank you very much. I'm here with the winner, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, congratulations on the win. How would you describe that fight?
Well, first of all, I want to give love to the crowd, everyone that came out. I really do appreciate everyone in this.
Ask yourself this honestly. Why would a company like Netflix burn a relationship that profitable unless something behind the scenes went seriously wrong? This does not feel like coincidence. The smiles disappeared overnight, and the story shifted from punches to paperwork. Once gloves are replaced by lawsuits, the real fight is already over.
This is a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations. It's not criminal, so they must be.
This is where the long-term damage really sets in. Losing to Anthony Joshua was something Jake could survive. Losing the confidence of major platforms is far more dangerous. Sponsors do not complain loudly. They simply disappear. Future negotiations become colder, slower, and far less forgiving. Once you earn a reputation for being unreliable, it sticks, no matter how loud your supporters are online.
Jake Paul, he's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find.
Another detail that keeps standing out is how calm Joshua looked afterward. Calm winners do not feel threatened, and threatened people do not usually sue. They move on. Netflix did not move on. They escalated. That suggests the situation is not about ego. It is about losing control and trying to regain it before more information comes out.
I don't like it. Even Anthony Joshua had some class and, apologized to me.
Did he really?
Yeah. He worked his way through the crowd and came up to me and said, "Mom, just no, it's just boxing.
It's the fight game.
It's just the fight game."
I'm obviously.
Do not ignore the growing talk about other fighters being difficult as well. When multiple names start being mentioned together, it often means contracts were stretched too far. One crack exposed tension everywhere. When one agreement falls apart, others get reviewed line by line for protection. The most unsettling part is that this story does not feel finished. Legal battles drag on, and discovery is messy. Emails, texts, and private conversations eventually come into the open, and narratives collapse quickly under that light. If Jake believes this ends with headlines, he is missing the bigger picture. This situation could get uglier before it quiets down. Sit with that discomfort, because the fight did not end in the 6th round. It simply moved to a different arena. Now the pressure is not coming from a heavyweight punch. It is coming from corporate memory and legal force. And those do not get tired. They keep pushing until something gives. What really settles in is the realization that the Joshua fight itself was not the core problem. It was the trigger. Systems do not fall apart from one blow unless they were already under strain. Everything around Jake Paul's boxing career had been pulled tight long before that night. The gap between confidence and competence runs through this entire situation. Confidence can sell tickets and headlines, but competence is what keeps partners calm. Once Joshua exposed that gap, Every stakeholder stopped asking how big the next event could be and started asking how expensive damage control might become. There's also a major difference between losing a fight and disrupting a corporate roadmap. Fighters lose all the time, but when a fighter becomes central to a platform strategy, personal decisions suddenly affect entire organizations. Netflix did not step into boxing for chaos or vibes. They came for predictability at scale. Betting on a volatile personality only works as long as that volatility stays inside the ring and does not spill into contracts, schedules, and advertiser confidence. What makes this more serious is that Jake was not framed as a risky experiment. He was positioned as a cornerstone, a bridge between traditional boxing and modern audiences. And when a bridge collapses, no one remembers how exciting it looked while it stood. The Joshua fight shattered the belief that Jake could control outcomes through preparation alone. The lawsuit threatens something even deeper, the idea that he can control the story afterward. Legal proceedings do not care about spin or framing. Once lawyers step in, everything slows down. And in combat sports, momentum is everything. There's also a shift happening in how crossover boxing is viewed. Audiences are starting to draw a clearer line between novelty and legitimacy. Once that line hardens, it becomes much harder to blur again. Notice how quickly the conversation moved from debating Jake's courage to questioning his reliability. Courage is subjective. Reliability is not. You either show up or you do not. This lawsuit reframes the Joshua loss as part of a pattern, not a one-off mistake. And companies respond to patterns, not isolated events. The entire situation highlights how little room there is for improvisation at scale. What feels like freedom on a small stage looks like recklessness when hundreds of millions of dollars are involved. Influence amplifies mistakes just as much as success. The higher you climb, the less tolerance there is for unpredictability. Jake's brand was built on disruption, but disruption without structure eventually scares the very partners who made it possible. That is the paradox he is now facing. Boxing has a long memory when it comes to business. Reputations are not just built in the ring. They are shaped in boardrooms where future fights are quietly decided. Even if the legal issues settle, the perception damage can linger. Promoters and platforms remember who made their lives harder, especially when other options exist. This moment feels unfinished because it sits at the crossroads of sport, entertainment, and corporate power. Those crossroads rarely lead to clean endings. Jake's next move will matter more than any tweet or interview. It will show whether he understands the scale of what he's dealing with now, or if he still believes noise can replace trust. What do you think? Like, comment, and share my video.